Little baby bunting, little baby bunting, Daddy's gonna hunting, gonna fetch a... Agnes, it's me, Billy.
All right, I'm back for day 22 of the 31 Days of Christmas Horror, and this time I've got a lesser known title. I don't really see it on any lists that I've looked at, and it's called Whoever Slew Auntie Roo. This is the English title. That in America it was released as Who Slew Auntie Roo. It was also kind of known as the Gingerbread House, as an alternate title. So this was a 1971 British film written by Jimmy Hammer horror film Sangster, starring Shelley Winters and directed by Curtis Harrington. The film is a slow burn psychological thriller about a woman that's lost her daughter. She's running an orphanage and she lost her daughter to a freak accident. She keeps the remains in a kind of in a little box, if you will, and kind of tries to hold seances to try to talk to her daughter. There's two kids in the orphanage that end up, one of them looks just like, at least in Shelley Winters' eyes, looks just like her daughter. And so, in effect, she kidnaps her as she's during a Christmas party that she's having for the orphans. She kidnaps this one girl because she has such a great resemblance to her daughter. And the brother finds out about it and tries to get her out of the house. And he gets captured too. So you kind of got a Hansel and Gretel turned on its head here. Because Shelley Winters clearly is going through a breakdown, having lost her daughter, and she's just not playing with 52 cards in the deck. But she's actually a sympathetic character. The way the film is done is she ends up being the sympathetic character, while the children that she's supposedly kidnapped are malevolent and kind of downright evil. There's not the artwork here will lead you to think this is a slasher film. It's not. And really the only tie-in to Christmas is it was held basically during the Christmas season, but it's not per se a direct Christmas horror movie. I'm still counting it though. Curtis Harrington is an interesting director. He directed Planet Blood in the 60s, which many people think Alien was took some cues from. He also did Whatever Happened to Helen, What's the Matter with Helen. This was kind of his trilogy of Grand Dame Guignol, What's the Matter with Helen, and Whatever Happened to Auntie Roo. Is kind of a two-for female Dame Guignol films that both have Shelley Winters in them. And then he directed Killer Bees, which he in his interviews with Killer Bees, he thinks that's one of his best films. But he's a good director, and the audio commentary on here with David Duval goes into great detail about him. He also knew James Whale. And he was one of the people that was instrumental in getting the old dark house resuscitated and with new scans and brought forward into a competent DVD or Blu-ray. He was a big fan of Old Dark House, and actually, if you've got the DVD of, I think it's a Criterion release. Maybe no, it's not a Criterion release, but the Old Dark House. It's a Kino. There's an interview of Curtis Harrington talking about the lengths and efforts that he went to salvage the Old Dark House because of his vast appreciation for James Whale. And that's discussed in some detail by David Duval in the audio commentary. At any rate, I would say this is a 6, 7 out of 10. It's, there's not, the horror in this is implied. And you don't go by the cover. I mean, there is, at one point, Shelley Winters has a butcher knife, and it's implied that she may be preparing the kids for a feast, Hansel and Gretel style, but there's really not any horror in this other than the psychological implied aspects of horror. But I enjoyed it. It's a good 1 or 2 time watch. Wasn't great, but it was good enough. The print on this Kino release Kino Lorber release was very, very good. Excellent quality. The only thing I don't like about these Kino releases is they don't have subtitles, and sometimes I watch a lot of movies outside, and I've got a pool filter running and background noise. So I like to actually have gotten really, really into subtitles. I don't know if it's old age or I can't hear or something like that, but I really have gotten addicted to the subtitles just to make sure I don't miss any dialogue points. But Kino doesn't do a lot of subtitles, I've noticed, and this one doesn't have any subtitles, so just be aware of that. Anyway, that is Whoever Slew Auntie Roo, and you probably never heard of that, but I would definitely recommend it as a 1 or 2 time watch, particularly if you like Shelley Winters. Movies with Shelley Winters and her going batshit crazy are always pretty entertaining. Her biggest claim to fame was Poseidon Adventure, if you guys remember that, in the 70s. And then before that, she was in she was kind of a blonde bombshell back in the 50s and 60s. But she is a real prima donna, and David Duvall goes into great detail, as does Curtis Harrington indirectly, talking about how difficult she is as an artist to direct, and how difficult she is to work with in general. A real prima donna. So you get some of that over the top campy acting from her in this film as well. All right, well, that will wrap up day 22 of the 31 Days of Christmas Horror, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.